Hello everyone. My name is Anna and I'm going to be speaking to you today about my research entitled The Concept of Sustainability of the Urban Realm and Community as the Key Feature of the Utopia. First of all, it is worth noting the main theoretical context of this work. A report by the United Nations General Assembly states that the concept of sustainability includes two main ideas. First is taking into account the needs of the poorest sections of the population, and second is limiting access to the consumption and use of natural resources to conserve them. In the historical context, the idea of transforming society by taking into account the needs of the poorest section of the population is reflected in utopian ideas that depict an ideal society in which all residents are often equal. The authors of Utopian proposed verbal or visual models of an improved society where peace and harmony prevail and all citizens are happy and satisfied with the condition of their lives. A common theme of sustainability was observed in the work of utopians who believed that the ideal community could realize its potential only in a certain stable environment. Utopian ideas reflect the hyperbolized desire to improve the social order by changing the political model and improving social conditions, establishing equality among the population, imposing significant restrictions on the use of resources and theories, and so on. As a result, the study of the idea of sustainability through the analysis of utopias is quite significant in the historical context, as they are not burdened with issues of implementation, economic problems, and quite clearly reflect the changing approaches to this issue over the centuries. The aim of this paper is to demonstrate the idea of sustainability as a key basis in the formation of utopia, which is realized through the representation of different approaches to site selection and urban strategy. A specific understanding of sustainability community, the relationship between sustainability and historical context. To achieve this goal, it is useful to compare the ecological approach present in the text of utopians with today's understanding of new technologies and their potential for environmental impact. To present the result of the analysis, the author proposed three conditional periods of utopias based on the change in the utopian approaches to the choice of territory and structure of populated cities, their attitude to technology and opportunities for environmental impact. It should be noted that this division is conditional and focus on the generalization of many different concepts. The first period covers the period from the 16th to the 18th century and the concept of the ideal city, which presupposes symmetrical planning and selection of sites that contains everything necessary from the beginning, landscaping through a clear functional division. Within this period, I have analyzed the utopian works of Franciscus Patricius and Ludovico Zuccolo, as they most clearly describe the consideration of natural conditions in site selection to minimize anthropogenic transformation. They suggested using physical means to increase the level of involvement of residents in the public life of the city and reduce the incidence. For example, a responsible approach to choosing a site for the construction of a new city, which would create a healthy, comfortable environment due to the required strength and direction of winds, which improves the health of citizens. The next period spans the late 18th and early 20th centuries and is characterized by the abandonment of the city as a desirable model of human settlement, and an attempt to return to nature is based on the desire to transform large settlement into more flexible and adaptable ones. Such utopias are often accompanied by an attempt to abandon the development of industry and a desire to return a traditional lifestyle. This is a result of people's inability to provide all workers with proper living conditions in the real world. Features of approaches to the formation of the city are highlighted in the example of utopians of Willem Dean Howells, Willem Morris, and Anatole France. Such projects aim to restore the well-being of neighboring communities and strengthen people's connections with nature, improve the level of the environment, which has deteriorated significantly as a result of the growing number of plants and factories. The third period is a stage of active implementation of technologies in projects since the beginning of the 20th centuries, and this period is characterized by more active development of technologies and attempts to use them to improve environment and so on. For this period, Ernest Callenbach's Utopia was chosen, which describes in detail the transformation of existing cities, taking into account the concept of green energy, the introduction of traffic jams, and more. Analysis of the works of utopian writers of the 16th century demonstrated that the idea of sustainable development in the context of the environmental approach has become the basis for the formation of utopias. Utopian concepts stated that the clean lines of the city and the ability to improve the physical characteristic of space are important aspects of comfortable living that shape the behavioral habits of residents. Summary of the analysis of the selected utopias is given in the table, where the leading characteristics of all three periods are singled out according to the choice of the territory on which the state or city was formed, approach to the formation of the urban environment, access and attempts to influence natural resources. The analysis of utopias in the works of selected writers of 16th and 20th centuries demonstrates that idea of sustainable development is one of the leading in the formation of utopia. Writers, statesmen, and architects using functional society or images of cities of the future offer their vision of solving many problems. However, the formation of such an ideal society is impossible without a healthy environment. The ecological component occupies a leading place in utopias. It is provided by various measures at different items and different times. For example, cohesive, consolidated action of residents to ensure the clean lines of the environment, escape from the city and to merge with nature, the use of the latest technologies. The desire to shape the sustainability of the environment as a guarantee of sustainability of the community is one of the leading signs of utopia. Thank you for the listening.